Let's take a look at creating customized door panels for AutoCAD Architecture. This overview will be using Archidime's custom content, but the information is valid for you if you want to just create your own customized doors without using Archidime's content. But it's also will be useful if you need to modify any of our doors. We basically have two types of panel solutions. We call the most elementary ones the simple, and then we call the more complicated ones complex. If I go to the content library here and take a look at our doors catalog, you will see in this example I'm going to use the exterior doors, but we have all kinds of other doors. For exterior doors here, let's just use wood. We have the simple profile panels, and then if you move forward here a couple of pages, you'll see the complex panels. And I'm going to overview the differences between the two, and hopefully that'll allow you to create all kinds of personalized solutions. On the screen here, I've pulled in a simple panel door solution. If you need information about the trim, we have another video on that. But the simple panel door solution uses a profile, which has been inserted here to the right. And the profile basically defines the shape of the door, or I should say the door panel. It defines the shape of the door panel, and then wherever you want an opening. That's the most common use of a profile. So for example, if I take this that's being used in this door and I copy it over and I make a change to it, I bring it up about to midpoint here, and then I go to look at the top a little bit more here. If I type in profile definitions, I can create a new one, and I'll just call it example 1. I do a right click and I do a set from. Normally what you do is you pick the shape of the door, the panel itself, and then work your way in. I think you can do it in other directions, inside out, but I always start from the outside. And then I look at the command line on the screen and it says, do you want to add another ring? Yes. And then it lets me pick another closed polyline. And for this one here, it says, do you want to make it a void? I'll take the default void, meaning that it's going to understand that that will be glass. So I'll go ahead and hit enter, and then enter again, and one more enter, and OK, and I'm out. So now I'll go ahead and let's say you had one of these doors from the Archidime kit, but you want a version of it. So I'll take this door, I'll bring it over here. I'll just go ahead and say copy door and assign, and then just go ahead and just I don't know, I might just put a 2 on the end of it here. I'll go to design rules, and so on the design rules is where you get to assign a profile to create the shape of the door panel. So here I have example 1, and then I'll go ahead and just hit OK, and it's that quick. Now I've created that door panel. All right, I may not like the muntins that are in there by default, so I'll go ahead and I'll right click, I'll edit the door style, I'll jump to display properties. Now the muntins, you would probably want elevation, model, and model high. It'd be up to you if you wanted to use model low. We don't. We only use these 3. This highlighted or in bold is the current one. I'll double click here. I'll go to the muntins tab, and we just left the muntin name as default muntin. Notice down here it says automatically apply to other display representations and object overrides. So what that allows you to do is just change the muntin layout once, and it'll automatically fix that in the other overrides in here. So these 3 will all be impacted, but not model low. All right, I'll go to edit. What do we have here? So we have too many like that. That would look better. So in here, of course, you can change the layout of your lights in here. They have some pre-defined things in here, sunburst, things like that. So tinker with that if you're looking for different patterns. This is the limit, though. It's pretty much rectangles and then a few other shapes here. And then you can control your number of lights high and wide. Clean up body and clean up joints. the reason that has been in there was going back many years where those kinds of things slowed the system down. If you were running a lot of doors with a lot of divisions in there for your muntins, you may actually want to not have them be bodies or even clean up the joints. But for common residential projects, I've not run into that as an issue. I'm more worried about like curtain wall, a lot of stuff in curtain walls. These little things don't really slow my system down at all. And then of course your width and depth here. I don't think there's much to just cover on that. Then of course, let's see, on your layers, you let's see, you've got your glass here, and then at the bottom you have your muntins. So even if you have your muntins, you can always turn them off. And let's take a look at that. All right, and then we'll do a little shade here. Look at that. All right, so you can see this quickly copied door has a different layout. It's almost identical to the other one, but just by changing or making a new profile, I was able to knock out that door. So the next thing, let's take a look at before I elaborate on the profiles. Let's just take a look at that hardware, edit door. Now hardware does not have the option here under muntins where it says automatically add. I wish they had done that here. Automatic would have been great. So the hardware has to be added uniquely to these display representations. So you'd have to do it for elevation, model, model high, at least those three. And what we did was just we added blocks. So these are the two blocks. Let's jump out and I'll show you the blocks have been inserted here. So I just did an insert. You can do that in any one of our any drawing, and you pull in one of our doors, you'll see you can just start inserting the components. So this is the pull side, and if I go ahead, there's the pull side. That's what that looks like. So we created the pull side, and we have the entry side here. And if I copy this over, and I explode this and pick on it, you'll see it's just a mass element. You look over here, you can see it's been given it its own mass element style. If you ever needed to change the material for it, you can just go to the, right here, you can go to, click here, you go to Edit Mass Element Style, and you can just assign it a different material in here. Okay, I'm going to leave all that alone. Now, so as a block, it's probably the most logical to make the insertion point the center of the handles, so you can control the exact point at which they're mounted to the door. So if I go back now over here, and I do the edit, and I jump to model, and I go to other, our hardware is at the bottom, so you can see here's the, there's the entry, this is entry, and this was the pull side. Let's see, yeah, pull side. Let's just do the entry side with edit. So if I shade this, there we go. So I'm looking at this right here, and you can see it's 3 feet up. If I wanted it to be 3'2", you can see it slides up in the preview picture. So it's just a block assigned here. It's been done to the right side of the panel at the front. And so on the right, that would be all the way over here on the side. So it's been pulled back a little bit, 2 3/4 away. So here I could do -1 and shoves it too far. -4 and goes maybe too far over there. Let's go -2. Oops, still not enough. -2.5. You can see how you can play with that. There's no scaling on these, obviously. And when you don't do any scaling, it's nice because they always stay relative to the edge that you assign here. So as the door grows, the block will stay in place. And then it's been assigned to the leaf, not the frame. And you can either do all or single. It depends on, you know, if you have all, then if there's multiple panels, it'll show up in each one. Single is probably your best option in a case like this. And then similarly, there's a block added for the other side to give the handle on the back. Of course, you can expand on this information. You can add other things to a door. You could add hinges. We tinkered with that and didn't find it was worth the trouble. But there are other times we have added blocks inside of doors. Like on commercial doors where you have maybe rated glass or something with a metal frame, we've made a block of that and then inserted it into the void. I think that's pretty much it. What we need to do now is just to go over a little bit more on these profiles in case you don't know much about profiles. Keep in mind that you can make a profile into, you can do this to create that shape for your door. Now these unusual shapes will not work with our trim. The overview covers that. You can look at the other YouTube video for that. It's just the doors were never designed originally at the source at Autodesk to have trim, and so they don't really recognize to pull the way we do the trim to pull it around. So we have some other solutions for that. But if you don't care about the trim, this is a great way to create an arch door. Now I'm going to undo that. I don't really want to get into that right now. I'm going to combine two ideas here. So if you're doing French doors, for example, you don't get away with just doing the one. It seems like you should be able to do the one panel and just mirror it or something, but this is how they want the profile done. It's both doors is seen as one panel, and then with two openings in it. So what I'm going to do here is just as before, I'm going to copy what I've made up here, and I'm going to copy this up here, and then zoom in here. So just to show you that it's not just about solids and voids. You can actually tweak the concept a little bit to get a panel solution. So I'm going to offset this by 1 inch here. All right, and then I'm going to do a profile. And for this one, I'll go ahead and name this example 2. Okay, and I'll pick on it and do a right click and go set from. All right, like before, I'm going to pick the outside. And it says, do I want to add another? Yes. I want to add this. Do I want it to be a void? Yes. Do I want to add another? Yes. Do I want that to be a void? Yes. Do I want to pick another? Yes. Do I want this to be a void? No. Do another? Yes. Do I want this to be a void? No. And then work my way through to the end. So what I've done here is I've oscillated between solid and void. So this is solid here, this is void here, this is solid again. See if you can predict what the results will be. All right, I'll take this. I'm now going to do a copy like I did before. I'll just throw a little 2 at the end here. Okay, I'll go to Design Rules, and I'm going to change the profile to Example 2. And let's see, something happened. I knew something happened in my pick over there, so let me just do that very quickly again. I felt something not get selected properly. So Example 2, set from here. Let's see, yes, here, nope, yeah, yes. Add another ring, yes. Void, yes. Add another ring, no. Add another ring, yes, and no. Okay, hopefully got it all this time. And let's see. All right, let's do a. There we go. You can see if you look at it now, it's got the mullions in there, or muntins, and it's got the glass. That's a weird solution. It's not what I really was planning to do. So we'll just pick the door, we edit the door style, and then we go to materials, and where it says glass, that's no longer going to function as glass. It's going to function as wood, just recessed wood. So let's set it to mahogany to match these other parts. And then let's go back and see what controls this stuff here. So under the dimensions, I have the 2 things that you can control in terms of depth on the panels. So one is the door thickness, and the other is what they call glass. But in this case, I'm not using it as glass. I'm using it as a panel. So I would make the panel a little bit less. So how about 1.25? And okay, oops, that's fine. But you can see the recess part here. Let me just get rid of those muntins. So we'll go here, and we'll just do any of these, and we'll just go to muntins, and we'll just remove that. I don't want that. And okay, so here's how you can quickly create a panelized door. It's very simple, but it does produce a more interesting solution than just a flat panel of door material. And it's easy to make, easy to control, easy to adjust. You know, this is good information to know at the beginning level of working with AutoCAD Architecture, is how to create this level of customization on your doors. So the next part we'll take a look at is a higher level of customization, but I'll just stop here and create another video.